Hey class, let's look at the questions on perfectly competitive market structure in the short run. So the first question, it says a purely competitive seller. This will be a price taker. Monopoly is a price maker. Perfectly competitive seller is a price taker. Then the next one, which of the following is a characteristic of purely competitive seller's demand curve? This one is price and marginal revenue will be the same, and the price and marginal revenue is a horizontal straight line. So the answer to question number 2 is B. Now take a look at question number 3 here. It says in answering this question, assume a graph in which dollars are measured on the vertical axis, okay, and output on the horizontal axis. The total revenue graph, it will be a straight upward sloping line. This is how the total revenue curve looks like. Question number 4, a perfectly elastic demand curve implies that the firm can sell as much output it wants to at the existing price. So this is the demand curve. This is horizontal. That means this is perfectly elastic. Question number 5. The blue line is the total revenue line. The red line is the total cost line. So the answer will be C, the total cost curve. This green part where the total revenue is greater than total cost is the profit. And this one, this part where the total cost is greater than total revenue, this one is the loss. Going to question number 6 here. They're asking us to find the short run supply curve. So the short run supply curve for a firm in the perfectly competitive market structure, this will be the marginal cost curve above the shutdown point. The shutdown point is the minimum point of average variable cost curve. So this segment BCD is the supply curve in the short run. Now question number 7 is tricky. Here they're asking you to find the profit graphically. The profit is defined as the total revenue. From that we subtract the total cost. So total revenue, I wrote down the definitions here. This is equal to price times quantity. Total cost is average total cost times quantity. A perfectly competitive market structure produces output at the point where this marginal revenue line, that is shown by the horizontal straight line, intersects the marginal cost curve. The output is equal to E. Like this is the output here. I'm just going to write down the output will be equal to E. The price is equal to what I will read from the vertical axis, that this is A. So what is my total revenue? The total revenue is this whole rectangle, which is OAHE, price times quantity. And the total cost is going to be, use a different marker here. I know it's going to be this one. This rectangle is my total cost. because my average total cost is equal to B. So this area, which is average total cost times quantity, I'm going to say this is OBGE. This is the total cost here. If you subtract this two, we are left with this one is what we are left with. That this one I'm going to highlight. So this is the profit here, which is ABGH. So the profit will be ABGH. Go to question number 8. They're asking, this is pretty much straightforward. The firm is selling its product in a purely competitive market. The characteristic is the marginal revenue line is a horizontal straight line. This is also equal to the price, and the marginal revenue line is also the demand curve. Now I'm going to go to question number 9 here. They're asking the firm will earn a normal profit if product price is how much. So normal profit means zero profit, zero loss. Let me write down the definition of profit here. Profit is equal to total revenue minus total cost. I'm just using the abbreviations here. Total revenue is price times quantity. Total cost is average total cost times quantity. I can take this quantity out here, and I would highly recommend all of you to check these formulas from the chapter on cost and production, the formula for total cost. So because average total cost is total cost over output, that's why I wrote down total cost is average total cost times output. So profit means this whole thing will be equal to 0. This is going to happen, or rather normal profit. My bad. Normal profit means no profit, no loss. That means this whole thing in brackets will be equal to 0. That means price minus average total cost will be 0, or price is equal to average total cost. Or I will say price is equal to the lowest point of average total cost. So this will be equal to minimum average total cost. This happens when price is P3. So the lowest point of average total cost is where it is hitting the marginal cost line. So the lowest point of average total cost is where average total cost is intersecting the marginal cost line, and this happens at a price of P3. Hope this makes sense. All right, question number 10. In the short run, a purely competitive firm will earn a profit when price is equal to average total cost of production. Question 11, this one's tricky. I have the accompanying table applies to a perfectly competitive industry. What's the difference between an industry and a firm? So industry consists of a bunch of identical farms. So we have a bunch of sellers, but when we look at a farm means we just have one single seller. So look at the quantity demanded and quantity supplied. The equilibrium price is $3 and equilibrium quantity is equal to 600,000. So the equilibrium price is $3 here. I need that. And equilibrium quantity is equal to 600,000. What's the question asking us? Industry is maximizing profit and earning only a normal profit. Normal profit is something which we learned from here. Normal profit is when price is equal to average total cost. So the average total cost will also be equal to $3. Okay. All right. So this is the average total cost here. And they're asking us to find the total cost of a single farm. Uh, so right now we have six 100 farms here in the industry, and quantity supplied by all of them together is equal to 600,000. So this is the quantity supplied by all 100 farms. I need to know the quantity supplied by one single farm. This one will be equal to 600,000 over 100. So this is equal to 6,000. Now I need to find the total cost, so be very careful here. Here I have the word each. That means I need to find the total cost for a single farm, not for the entire industry. So the total cost will be equal to average total cost times quantity, which is $3 times 6,000, and this one is 18,000. Oh, this is tricky. This is the answer to this question. Okay. Now let's move forward. Question number 12. I have the same graph here. The price is $3. Equilibrium quantity is 600,000. They're asking us to find the equilibrium price. Okay. Oh, the equilibrium price is $3. All right, in this perfectly competitive market. Oh, just to let you know something here. The farm is a price taker. That means a single farm will charge a price which is equal to the market price. I'm going to write here the farm's price will be equal to the market price. It does not have a say on the market price. Whatever everyone else is charging, the farm will also charge the same price. Question 13. This is as straightforward as can be. They're asking us to find the marginal cost of the fifth unit of output. This is the fifth unit of output. I need to find the marginal cost here. Marginal cost is change in total cost over change in output level. This sign delta, I know I keep repeating myself here. This is This is delta. I'm using this sign delta for change. So the change in total cost is 350 minus 270 over 5 minus 4. So this one, my answer will be equal to $80. This is going to be $80. This is the answer to this question. Okay, question number 14 is not really difficult at all. This can just mess with your head, but I'm not going to let this mess with anyone's head. It says the accompanying table gives the cost data for a farm that is selling in a purely competitive market. If the market price for this farm's product is $15, it will produce how many units? So the price is equal to $15. I'm going to compare this to the average variable cost. So these are the numbers for the average variable cost. This is how the average variable cost looks like. Goes down, reaches a minimum, and then this goes up. I have output here, I have average variable cost here. Looks like the average variable cost is reaching a minimum at $21. So the price is less than minimum average variable cost. So definitely is better off by not producing at all. So the farm will produce 0 units. So my output represented by Q will be equal to 0. So the farm is going to shut down, and if the farm shut down, there will be a loss definitely, and the loss will be equal to the total fixed cost of production. Okay, the total fixed cost, how do we find the total fixed cost? Again, I'll just recommend all of you to look at the chapter on production and cost for these formulas. So the total fixed cost for the first unit of output is the average fixed cost times 1. The average fixed cost is equal to 150, output is 1. So the total fixed cost is 150 times 1, which is equal to 150. Now the total fixed cost for the second unit of output is the average fixed cost for the second unit of output times 2. So this will be equal to 75 times 2. This is 150. What do I see here? This number, the total fixed cost, stays the same no matter how much output we are producing. The average fixed cost, that keeps changing. Oops. Right, so my answer to this problem will be produce 0 units, incur a loss of $150, or incur a loss equal to the total fixed cost of production. Okay. Now take a look at question number 15. When the price is P4, what would the farm do? Questions like this always compare price to minimum average variable cost. Something to let everyone know here, the minimum average variable cost is the point at which the average variable cost cuts the marginal cost curve. That was the same thing when we are looking at the average, minimum average total cost. So this is the minimum average variable cost. Because price 4 is less than minimum average variable cost, the farm will shut down in the short run. Going to question 16 here, the profit maximizing output will be the point at which MR is equal to MC. This is my marginal revenue line here. This one is the marginal cost line. And the output is where MR cuts MC. Definitely this point N here. And this is the answer. And the price will be this point E. Coming down to question number 17, the short run supply curve of a purely competitive producer is primarily based on the marginal cost curve. Okay. Alrighty. Question 18. Okay, farm finds that at its MR equal to MC output, total cost is 1000, total variable cost is 800, total fixed cost is 200, total revenue is 900. What would the farm do here? What's the definition of profit? Profit is total revenue minus total cost. Here the total revenue is 900. Let me circle this for you. Total cost is 1000. So we have a loss which is equal to negative 100. Now this becomes interesting because question is the farm gonna produce or not produce? Okay, if the farm produces, the farm will incur a loss which is equal to negative 100. However, if the farm shuts down, the farm will incur a loss, and this loss will be equal to the total fixed cost of production, which is 200. So I'm going to say negative 200. Which one do you think is better? Incurring a loss of 200 or a loss of 100? So the farm is going to produce, because if it produces, the loss will be 100, and this is less than if it shuts down and incurs a loss of $200. So question 18 is going to be D. It produces as the resulting loss is less than the total fixed cost of production. This question is tricky, I agree. Alrighty, question 19. Farm is confronted with economic losses in the short run. It will decide whether or not to produce by comparing price and average variable cost. Loss means what? Loss means price is less than average total cost. Farm will continue to produce if the price is greater than minimum average variable cost. If the price is equal to minimum average variable cost, this is called the shutdown point. It can either produce or not produce, and definitely gonna shut down if price is lower than minimum average variable cost. Here the farm will produce 0 units of output. Question 20. Purely competitive farm produces if its total revenue is sufficient to cover the total variable cost of production. Okay. 21. A purely competitive farm shuts down in the short run. Question 21 is D, if it realizes a loss equal to total fixed cost. Now let's go to question number 22 here. It says, suppose that you find a price of your product less than minimum average variable cost. Okay, here I'm going to shut down or close down, because if I produce, my losses will be greater than total fixed cost of production. Okay. All right, now take a look at question number 23 here. I know we did this kind of questions before. Short run supply curve is upward sloping and equal to the portion of marginal cost curve that is above the average variable cost curve. So this one, marginal cost curve, this, okay, this is the average variable cost curve. This one is the minimum point of average variable cost curve, also called the shut down point, and this part will be the supply curve in the short run. Okay. Now moving on to question number 24. Which of the statements is correct? This will be B. Demand curve for a perfect purely competitive farm is perfectly elastic, like this. This is a demand curve, perfectly elastic and flat. But the demand curve for an industry, this one is downward sloping. Be very careful with these two distinctions. This is the demand curve for a farm who is a single seller. This is the demand curve for an industry. An industry is a combination of all farms. Alrighty, last question. In fact, the fact that a purely competitive farm's total revenue is linear and upward sloping to the right implies that product price is constant at all levels of output. Alrighty, so that is all. I will provide you with the answers to these questions and also these questions. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you very much.